Now that we are in E3 week, we are getting more and more information from various publishers that are holding their events surrounding what kind of times they will be going live, even some of which are revealing some of the games they will talk about, so we have to cover that here today. In addition to that, we got to talk about the weird Nintendo Switch update that happened and then got pulled down, and there may even be a competitor to the Nintendo Switch around the corner. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below, hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. Now, as I mentioned today, guys, we're covering a few different topics, and the first of which I want to cover is the official E3 lineup and schedule, so you know which publishers are going live when, and kind of what to expect in terms of even some of the games that are being offered. But to go through the list here that has now been updated with almost all the exact time slots at this point, this is what you can kind of expect from the event. So the first notable thing to mention is that all of the times I'm about to read are in Pacific time, so if you live outside of that time zone, make sure you do your own calculation for when these events will go live, as you will want to be present for some of them, I'm sure, just like I will be. So on Saturday, June 12th, we have 10 a.m. a broadcast pre-show, then right at 11, a Ubisoft Forward pre-show. The actual Ubisoft Forward event will be held at 12 p.m. 2 p.m. is Gearbox E3 Showcase, 2:45 is Game Beat session, and then Sunday, June 13th, you have 8:45 a.m. a broadcast pre-show. You have 9:30 a.m. 24 Entertainment's Naraka Blade Point, have no clue what that is. 10 a.m. you have Xbox and Bethesda Game Showcase, which will definitely be a huge one. 12:15 p.m. is Square Enix going live, so make sure you're tuned in for that, especially if you're an RPG fan like I am. Then 2 p.m. you have Warner Bros. Games Back 4 Blood. 2:30 you have PC Gaming Show, and 4 p.m. Future Game Show. Monday, June 14th will then continue at 8 a.m. with a broadcast pre-show. Verizon's going live at 9 a.m. 9:45 is Intellivision, have no clue who they are. 10:15 a.m. is Take-Two Interactive panel, so I guess they'll be answering questions. Then you have 11:10 a.m. Mythical Games, 12 p.m. Indie Showcase, 12:30 Freedom Games, 1 p.m. Ven, 2:30 Capcom, which is a big one that we're going to cover next, then 3 p.m. Razer, and then of course the big one that everybody I'm sure on this channel is waiting for, just like me, is Tuesday, June 15th is the biggest day for us Nintendo fans, as we will kick things off at 8 a.m. with a broadcast pre-show. Then you have it go straight to Nintendo at 9 a.m. Pacific time, so make sure you do the math for where you live to make sure you're live for Nintendo's Direct presentation, which we know to be roughly 40 minutes of new announcements, then followed up directly by 3 hours of Treehouse gameplay and dialogue. So the Treehouse event will kick off essentially right after the end of the Nintendo E3 broadcast. Then after that, you have Bandai Namco at 2:25 p.m. I'll be interested to see if we see Dragon Ball Z Kakarot and or Dark Souls 2 make it to the Switch, as there are both rumors out there that we may see that. So that may be a event where they would announce something like that, as Bandai Namco is their publisher. And then at 3:30 you have Eureka Studio, and then 3:35 GameSpot Play for All Showcase, and then 4:45 official E3 2021 award show, which I'm expecting Nintendo to win a number of different awards after the kind of announcements that we're expecting from their Direct, especially if they do anything Breath of the Wild 2 related, like I think they will. I do think that we will hopefully see them win like the most, anticipated game award or something to that effect. So all of that stuff is super exciting. It is right around the corner, and that is your full E3 developer/publisher showcase lineup for the time. So make sure you're ready to go if you plan on watching these events live. And then the one I do want to highlight quickly is Capcom, because they have actually stated out which games they will be covering, or at least some of which games they will be covering. I'm sure there's going to be 1 or 2 surprises in there as well, but we do have an official statement from them, and they are confirming that 4 different titles that they will be covering are the following: The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Monster Hunter Rise, and Resident Evil Village. So Capcom, I'm sure, will have a fantastic presentation, and they're definitely one that I will plan on watching live, as well as it's kind of cool that E3 is taking place over the weekend and then into the beginning of the next week. So there's going to be a bunch of big announcements to come. I will personally check out Capcom mainly for the Monster Hunter stuff, and I hope that they have something up their sleeves that's a brand new announcement that we have no clue that they're going to cover. But regardless, I want to know from you guys what presentations you're most excited for besides Nintendo, because I have a feeling if I say what presentation are you most excited for, you're going to say E3 Nintendo Direct, which is what I'm most excited excited for as well. But besides Nintendo, what's another couple, developers that you're most looking forward to? Because I think for me personally, it would be Capcom and it will be Bandai Namco. So I'm very pumped for both of those events, and I'm very pumped for E3 as a whole. And then the next thing I want to talk about is a very strange update that went out for the Nintendo Switch, as we saw 12.0.3 go live, and then we also saw that kind of consist of basically nothing major. It was just another statement from Nintendo that said it's stability and overall performance increase, and that was it. But then of course we have accounts like Oatmeal Dome that actually go in and do the research on what really changed in the firmware, and then in the previous updates we have seen major things hinted at, like Bluetooth support, and then even like 4K docking support, or a chip being in a dock and the Nintendo Switch having the ability to talk with that chip for extra graphics performance. So we've seen some major things come out of some of these behind the scenes updates when Nintendo is actually claiming that there's nothing major. However, it does appear this update was truly nothing major, as Oatmeal Dome tweeted out late last night that Nintendo Switch System Update 12.0.3 is out. Package 2 contains OS kernel and key services. SSL helps with creating secure connections to a server. Seems TLC v1.3 support was dropped. Have no clue what that means. And of course, an update of a bad's word list, as Nintendo likes to keep on top of things like that. So he went ahead and said that, and then as of this morning, very early, people noticed that you can no longer download this update. And if you did update your Switch, it is on the 12.0.3, but if you didn't update your Switch, you don't have an update available anymore. So it does appear that for whatever reason, Nintendo has pulled this down. I've seen different people online say that after they updated it, they were unable to download games from the eShop, which I think is actually what they were trying to fix, an occasional error message that came up. But apparently whatever they did could have potentially made it worse, or maybe it's only for certain users and certain regions. I'm not entirely sure at the time of filming this video, but it is interesting to see Nintendo release a brand new update and then have to immediately turn around and pull it back down. But I would love to know from you guys if you did the update, if you noticed any instabilities or any problems that weren't there prior to you updating, and then hopefully Nintendo comes out later today or tomorrow at the latest and provides a fix for this update, since obviously if they pull off an update that they didn't want to go live to begin with, or if they actually backtrack and put one up and then take it down, it's got to be at least significant enough to justify them doing that. So I am curious to hear from you guys if you've had any adverse, effects from after updating your Nintendo Switch to this new 12.0.3, or if you're in the boat like I am and I never got the update to begin with, so I guess I'll just wait to see whatever Nintendo fixes this, or when they fix this, and then when it goes live, we'll then hopefully get some more information soon. And then the last thing I want to talk about today is a story that has been very heavily rumored and leaked recently, that Valve is actually working on a competitor to the Nintendo Switch, and we now have a very big update around this because Valve has officially stated that at E3 they will be holding a Steam-related update of some sort. So I want to hop over to VGC and read through the article with you guys first so you're informed, and then kind of share my opinion on what we can expect from this potential new Switch competitor in terms of a portable gaming machine. Valve has a Steam-related announcement planned for E3 2021. That's according to PC Gamer, which published the partial lineup for this year's PC gaming show on Monday. It said a message from Valve regarding Steam will be delivered during the 90-minute event, which kicks off on June 13th at 2:30 PST. It was claimed in May that Valve is creating a portable gaming PC likened to the Nintendo Switch, codenamed SteamPal. According to Ars Technica, the hardware will play a large selection of games on Steam via Linux and could launch this year depending on the supply chain situation. Multiple sources told the site that the SteamPal, or whatever the device ends up being called, should come to market as an all-in-one PC with gamepad controls and a touchscreen. The hardware, which is said to be in the prototype stage, will reportedly include the option to dock to larger monitors via a USB-C port, but doesn't include detachable controllers like the Switch. So I think what's really cool about this story is it is obvious that there is a market for these portable gaming machines, and Steam is noticing that, and while they are very prevalent on the desktop PC at this point, and we've even seen them do like a Steam-style console before, they are now going to attempt to enter themselves in the market of the portable gaming gaming PC, but one that is form factored similar to the Switch with a touchscreen that you can fully play on the go, and then link to USB-C to get to a bigger monitor, which does sound very enticing if you are a PC gamer. So I will be excited to see what kind of thing Valve has planned for this, what it'll actually look like, if we will get this announcement at this E3, because it obviously says a Steam related announcement, so it does not confirm that this is what they are talking about in terms of the portable console, but it does look like this would line up just about right with the kind of rumors and reports we've been seeing about Steam entering the market with a potential Nintendo Switch competitor. And at the end of the day, I think this really just speaks to the success that we are seeing on the Nintendo Switch platform. And you know what? It's still a controversial opinion, but I think Nintendo will come out with a Switch Pro at some point sooner rather than later, and it will probably be released in the September-October window of this year. And it'll be interesting to see if they're going to actually go head-to-head with Valve and see if they, put up a PC level performance handheld machine versus what a new Switch Pro would do. So I do think that that'll be an interesting battle to watch unfold. But regardless, Nintendo already has such a large market share that it only makes sense that other companies are seeing that, realizing there's a demand for it with gamers, and while they don't have the Nintendo software to sell it on Steam, they still have a bunch of access to other games all on the PC that you can play now that would be incredible to play on the go. So I personally will be watching this one very closely, as I would absolutely love to see if the price point was right, what a Steam type of a machine in portable would do, and especially if you could just easily link it into a monitor and then go ahead and play it in full screen on a big TV. Well, that would pretty much have me sold if it has the right specs and the right price point. So stay tuned for more news on that one, but I do think we will see this announcement come to fruition soon. But at this point in the video, guys, I want to know all your thoughts and opinions on everything we covered today. Are you going to be trying to catch multiple publishers go live with their E3 showcases, or are you really only interested in the E3 Direct from Nintendo and maybe like the Treehouse coverage from them? So please share your thoughts with me around that in the comments down below, and also let me know if you did update your Switch to this new firmware, what you're experiencing right now, and if you're running into any problems, and then also just your overall thoughts on Valve entering the portable PC market and what you think that'll look like as far as a competitor to Nintendo. And then guys, before you do leave the video, the last thing to do is go hop over to the community tab and cast your vote today, where I will be asking you around the Nintendo Switch update and if you've experienced any issues from it or if you avoided the update altogether. Thanks so much for watching the video today, everyone. I do truly appreciate you all sticking around until the end. At this point in the video, I do want to invite you guys one more time to join Sunbro Nation if you haven't done so already. Do so by subscribing below, hit the like button on your way out if you enjoyed it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. That's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Sunbro Nation, out.